This is the whispering static. A few years ago in Utah, a teenager was listening to his radio at night when he tuned into a strange static. As he listened to it, he heard whispers calling his name. The voice seemed to come from the radio static itself, and the more he listened, the more he realized that they were definitely talking about him. At first, he thought it was a prank, but then he started to get really scared. The voices seemed to be coming from everywhere and nowhere at the same time. They were whispering about him, telling him to come closer, telling him that they needed his help. But what help? Help them do what? He tried to change the station, but it was no use. The whispering static followed him wherever he went. It was like they were in his head. He could feel their presence in the room with him, getting closer and closer. Then he started to see things out of the corner of his eye, moving just beyond his vision. He could feel their eyes on him, watching him. He was so scared that he turned the radio off and tried to go to sleep. But the whispering didn't stop, continued in his head long after the radio was off. He could feel their presence in his room, their cold, dead eyes staring at him in the dark. In the morning, he told his parents what had happened. At first, they thought it was hilarious. How could anyone be scared of a little static? But then they started to notice that their son wasn't quite right. He was withdrawn and distant, and he seemed to be hearing things that weren't there. They took him to the doctor, who diagnosed him with a type of psychosis brought on by stress. But the parents knew that something else was going on. Their son had never been diagnosed with any kind of mental illness before. And then one day they heard it for themselves. It was a faint static coming from the radio, and they could have sworn they heard a whisper too. It was just a whisper, but it was enough to send chills down their spines. They knew that their son was right. There was something out there, something evil that was trying to get in. They tried everything they could to protect their son, but it was too late. The whispering static had already gotten to him. To this day, no one knows what happened to that family. Some say that they were all driven insane by the whispering static. Others say that whatever was in the static claimed their son, and that's why he went missing. But the most terrifying part is that sometimes late at night, if you listen closely, you can still hear the whispers on the radio static. And some of those whispers, it seems, are calling your name.